Now, y'all know me and Jay Prince go back. You already know that. Before there was a mob ties and all that, it's about respect. It's about family. We go back many years due to the Ghetto Boys and hip hop. So being in Chicago, and as you look, I'm dead tired too, just getting off the plane. In Houston, I was just off the plane. So, right away, seeing Cino and Jay Prince together, that's like a reunion of family. And we've all noticed that he was representing Drake and what was going on, and people keep running up to him asking him about Drake and Kendrick, and he don't want to talk about it. If he wanted to talk about it, he would talk about it. There's a reason he's not talking about it. And then comes the Shakur Stevenson fight when out the blue, Cam and Mase decides to go ahead and they're going to speak about Jay Prince. Not Jay Prince, but Shakur Stevenson. And talk about how the fight was boring and what he needs to do and blah, 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 blah. And from that point on, this is what I talked about. Right? A lot of people just don't understand the sport. And you have people that are like puppets. They run agendas. And I told people, the puppet slayer is here. Now, I tried to tell y'all, these guys are company men now. They pretty much work for themselves, and they had an opinion on the fight. But I didn't take too much to it because their opinion is something you could take with a grain of salt. But on that note, before we get into that, let's get to the intro.
Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. I'm going to unbelievably explain a situation here because some of these people here just don't really get it. As you see a person right here say it was boring. I watched the fight. The fight wasn't boring. The fight was actually a boxing match in which he didn't run around the ring. He stood in front of the guy. He outboxed him. It's not his fault that he's a better boxer than his opponent. And his opponent couldn't do anything to really hurt him. And he neutralized his opponent. But if you don't watch boxing, you're just a casual watcher like Cam and Mase, you will make this analogy. So Shakur Stevenson lashed back at him because he's a young kid. And that's something he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have even entertained Cam and Mace's novice opinion on the fight. That was his mistake. Now, you guys are used to seeing people like Tank Davis or Tank knock somebody out, and then they say the level of competition. None of y'all even knew who Frank Martin was, who he just knocked out. Before that, he knocked out Roley and Ryan Garcia. It's like he's fighting guys that none of you guys even know, but he's getting knockouts. So that's what's appealing to y'all, is that y'all appealing to knockouts. The casual fan likes a knockout, something that's TikTok-ish, so they could talk about it. And I get it. I understand. That's what y'all like, so that's why it goes in that direction. We understand it. We get it. That's what you want to see. But this is the same thing y'all did with Floyd. Oh, that fight was boring. Oh, Floyd fights are boring. They used to say the same thing about Floyd every fight. But you know what Floyd used to do? Have the most pay-per-view sales. Because y'all believe this guy he's fighting can beat him. That's why you paid for the pay-per-views. That's why you bought it. That's why you went out to go watch the fight when Mayweather fought. So you can't tell me that boxing don't sell when it does sell. Now, Floyd wasn't knocking everybody out. Not at that weight. He was outboxing them. And people still paid because they wanted to see him lose. So what do you think they're going to do for Shakur Stevenson? When he fights, you're going to want to pay to see him lose, right? So you're going to pay. If he fights Devin or any of these guys who's scared to fight him, y'all going to pay. So the whole thing is this. I understood. It was funny what Cam and Mase were saying, but that's their opinion, but it's from a novice perspective. Shakur Stevenson should have never engaged with them, but he feels like they're hurting his brand because they're in a market of the demographic Shakur Stevenson is in. They have the young black audience. Cam and Mase are vets, but they have the young black audience. More than, I would say, mostly everybody that's in their 20s to 30s are listening to Cam and Mase show. It's some 40-year-olds listening to Cam and Mase because they're old too. They ain't young. They ain't young no more. They old. Like they in their 50s. So they could talk all that talk all they want. Those dudes in their 50s. So yeah, these are 50-year-olds. These are 48, 49, 50-year-olds. Cam and Mase ain't no young dudes. So, right, I love their show, man. Their show is great. It's outstanding. Now, that dynamic has changed because now everybody is responding to Jay Prince, who made a statement for Cam and Mase. And you know how I feel about Jay Prince. That's Uncle Jay. So Uncle Jay, to me, should have never entertained these guys. The same thing, and this is my opinion on it. He shouldn't have even entertained Cam and Mase. He's bigger than that. But he felt like he had to stick up for Shakur and stop whatever's going on because he's the manager. So he has a representational interest in this. Now, I'll tell y'all what I told everybody because we've already did this on Patreon. That's why y'all seeing this thumbnail here. You never saw this video on YouTube to this video because this is on Patreon only. We addressed the Drake and Kendrick thing with Jay Prince over there. But we'll bring you guys into the light because you guys have been behind the 8 ball. So that's why we say you got to get on the Karceno for Life Patreon so that you're not left behind. Now, Jay Prince went and addressed Cam and Mase, and the form he likes to do it is like Instagram, Twitter, and things of that nature. So when that happened, a lot of things came to the light. And once he did that, it did not have the effect or the desired effect that he's used to his words really having a, dynamic effect to things. And when he doesn't have that effect, it goes left sometimes. And when it goes left, things get misinterpreted. Now, if we look at the matter here, we get to see what he's actually saying. As he put up, Keith Idix is showing that the fight was the most watched boxing main event on ESPN, aired in 2024, with an average audience of the network of 1.18 million. It peaked at 1.25. Those Nielsen numbers doesn't include ESPN Plus viewership, only linear television viewers. ESPN Plus figures aren't released by ESPN, so we don't know what those ESPN Plus numbers were. So now Jay Prince looked at those and posted the numbers and said, numbers don't lie, haters do. Let the haters say that he's boring. Nobody wants to watch him. Sorry to tell you, it's just a select few of you haters. As you can see, there's no proof that he has. There's proof he has the number one rating in any fight on ESPN this year, and the top 3 ratings since 2022. And to all you haters who want to escalate the hate outside of the ring, I'm Shakir's manager, and I handle all his business outside the ring. In other words, Cam and Mace, I will fade all the shots and take all bets. And he tagged Shakir Stevenson, and It Is What It Is podcast show. He didn't need to do this. He could have just highlighted that and not added this comment. This comment here is not what he needs to do, in my opinion. Now, no, I've never done this in front of him. I've never done an impression of him in front of him. No. Now, no. So I felt he shouldn't have did this, because this doesn't mean anything. You could have just posted the numbers. Y'all, you could have just posted the numbers, put that on your page, tagged it, It Is What It Is, or whatever, and Shakir Stevenson, and just walked away and don't say a word. You saying this, just throwing gas on the fire and making it worse, because here it is. The young internet, they don't really know you, Uncle Jay. They don't know Jay Prince like that. They just know of you as a legend, like you're the boogeyman, or you're the soft version of Suge Knight. They heard about you, but these young guys, they're not gonna, the internet people on Twitters and the TikToks and the Grams, they look at you as like, oh, he's this old guy back in the day. That stuff don't work no more, this and that. So if you say anything, like, they're gonna automatically get dismissive and put you in a position where you gotta do something in order to show them and prove to the youngsters. So you gotta basically risk penitentiary chances and the FBI and feds getting involved and all that, just so the internet can say something. So it's not even worth it. It's not even worth going to do. The complete waste of time, and this type of tactic does not work in 2024. So I didn't think that was a good move at all. And once that was made, they did their little skit that they do on their show, where they like fall asleep, like they was watching the fight and they all fell asleep while the fight was going on. It was cute, but they were just taking it too far. It was like, okay, it was a one-day thing. Y'all kept trying to milk it, and then Now this.
Back 100. Mad disrespect. Drake is beefing with Kendrick Lamar as we speak. I have not heard. This is the first time Drake got into some, and I hear you say to Kendrick Lamar now. Why do you think that you could tell us what we can and cannot say? Nah, this is not 1982, bro.
See, with me, Jay Prince got the popularity vote. With Cam and Mace, he don't got the popularity vote. And Mace is arrogant, Cam is arrogant. So you started it, what you gonna do? And they didn't say what they said, so let's see where it go.
Yeah, they
If I
definitely
know
shouted
Jay
you out,
Prince,
Wack.
he gonna get on the phone and wanna have a conversation. That's all he do. He just like to and make it look like that's why I wasn't doing that with him. He tried to do the same shit. Nah, we ain't doing that because that's what you do.
So he's claiming that Jay's gonna get on the phone, try to contact them, and they're gonna talk behind the scenes. You see, I love when people just come in and start talking and don't know what's going on. This person, did he even realize that I just said that Jay Prince shouldn't have done what he did? Did he even hear me say that? He shouldn't have said a word. Why am I scared? He ain't mentioned my name. Uncle Jay said, if I was terrified, I wouldn't be going at Drake. No, he's not. This is a tactic that works for him in the past with negotiations with people who know better. Businessmen, these tactics, they would know it's very serious and they would say, hey, but these young people on the internet, they don't care about nothing. They'll put you in a situation of losing yourself. Plus, Cam and Mace feel like we are OGs too. Like we old enough. We ain't young dudes. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it went in the matter it did. Because they like, yo, we ain't them dudes.
So let's get straight to it. A lot of comments were made. And so I definitely want you guys' response to what people had to say. So first we're going to start with Jay Prince. So he had a message for both of you guys after the comments. He said, numbers don't lie. Haters do.
Phase and take all his shots and you handle everything out the ring. All right. So then we talking to you then, all right? We starting with you. Since you the big homie, we starting with you. That's how it goes around here. I want to just start off by saying you are so lacking self-awareness. Like when you give such a lackluster performance and then you think you can make threats to people because you gave a lackluster performance, pause. You don't have the right to tell me what I should like or to tell Cam what he should like. That's not your place. Like art is subjective, right? So if art is subjective and I don't like something, you can't really get mad at us because we don't like something. And you're standing there with two Hall of Fame boxers that are constantly letting their hands go. So I think is crazy that Andre Ward let his hands go. Terrence Crawford definitely let his hands go. And then you walk out with these boxers and you don't tell the next guy to let his hands go. This is a lapse of judgment. And I'm going to tell you another thing. When you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We're not your little niggas. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas. So...
Right there. Right there. We're not your little guys. He said, why don't I call Mace and get the exclusive? Why would I do that when Mase is doing? Is Mase going on everybody's platform doing interviews now? Now that he's doing it is what it is, he's gonna save it for his show. He gonna save it for his show, B. So, but like he said, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're his little dudes. You know what I'm saying? That stuff work with the little people now. Or in the record execs. That stuff was effective in the 90s. That stuff ain't finna work in 2024 with these guys because these guys have already established. Now, if it gets to a situation where something happened to them, if they get into conflict, the feds are sitting back watching all of it. So, none of this is going to go anywhere. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't even have given them the energy. Shakira should have never engaged with these dudes at all. Let them talk. It'll fade away in a day. This is why you don't get involved with people whose job is to go on social media and roast. Like, that's what they do. They go on social media and like roast.
We don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't. And for me, I never respected niggas in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Niggas would tell me, Mace, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a little, like the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They would say, yo, Mace, listen. Mm-hmm. Around here, we don't send niggas to do nothing for us. We don't pay niggas to handle our problems. Mm-hmm. You got to put in your own work around here, Lord, man. That's what you were supposed to tell them. You can't go out here and talk crazy and then send me on a mission. Mm-hmm. Nah, this is where the game got messed up. When young niggas started sending old niggas out, and just because this little ignorant nigga got a few dollars, he make all of you that's supposed to be real run after his mission. Mm. This is a problem, Jay Prince. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you're 60 years old and you're trying to be a street nigga, you failed. You failed.
Wow. See, Mase is real good with words. Do you know why the majority of these people go and take these angles that they take? Is because everybody around them make up excuses for a lot of them. Hit the like button, y'all. Y'all coming in here, hit the like button up. We got to get them likes up. You got to hit the like button. We got to get that like button up. Now, here's the thing. Mase, you had nothing to say about Diddy, though. He had nothing to say about the accusations with Diddy. So you telling me Diddy is more of a big dog than Jay Prince? Why you didn't have that energy for Puff? After you made the diss records and everything, it's like he gave you your masters back and then you was just cool with it. And when he was going through the accusations, you ain't say a word. You stayed quiet. So it was like it was like you didn't have that same energy. But I get it. Jay Prince called y'all out. So that's the difference. In case y'all didn't know, chat, I'm answering the question that was in the chat. So when I said that, I gave the statement as the thing. He didn't have the same energy. He didn't want to talk about it. Right? And he got a reputation for putting his hands on dudes. Like, Puff will put hands on him. But it seemed like he had no smoke for Puff after he did the songs on Puff. And he seemed to got his masters or something back. And now it seems like when all this stuff was going on with Puff, you know, and they say they doing their job, they got an opinion, they got a cup. He stayed quiet. That's something that, you know, is baffling. Why did you stay quiet? You talk about everybody else. It's only right and fair to at least give your opinions on the situation. That way, you're not being biased. So I felt like right there is the only time he wasn't being 100. He said it real light, real like, I don't want to mess up my bag. So my thing is, if you're going to do that route and y'all going to play that and softball it, then when other people have an opinion on something, they can always make that statement like you didn't keep that same energy. Now, I've always loved Cam and Mase, and I understand what people are saying, things like that, but I think they are being authentic. I think he said what he said light because in reality, what I'm getting at is people got relationships and friendships, and they don't want to, whether it's business relationships or whatever, and they're not going to want to jeopardize that, which brings us to the Jay Prince and Drake situation. Everybody asking Jay Prince about Drake and Kendrick. They want to stick a microphone. He's over there for boxing. Shakur Stevenson is boxing. You asking questions about Shakur Stevenson. You don't ask him about, hey, what is Drake doing? Why are you even bringing up Drake? I mean, what is Drake doing? Like, are you crazy? I knew he was going to do this. He ain't even looking at the chat no more. Is he crazy or is he crazy? Drake, don't ask him nothing about no Drake. He ain't gonna want to talk about it. And here's the reason why he ain't talking about Drake. He's not talking about Drake because of what happened with Takeoff. You know, and they don't want to have any connection with anything right now with them saying his name. Is he still mob ties? Is they still family? Drake is still family with Jay Prince. He's still family. He still looked at his family. They staying quiet on it and they keeping Drake's name out their mouth because they ain't trying to mess up nothing with them and having them all tied into something that they ain't got nothing to do with him. You know, and mess him all the way up. So that's why they don't mention Drake's name. And that's why he don't want to talk about Drake and Kendrick. He don't even want to get in it. So that's why he walks off. Every time somebody want to ask him. So I'm just telling people in general, stop running up on Jay Prince, asking him about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. You're not going to get an answer from any of them. Right. You let it go. You LIG it. You let it go. You see, they saying, oh, well, he ain't speaking up on Drake. He ain't doing that. He ain't got nothing to say. Mase ain't had nothing to say about Puff. You see what I'm saying? Now you see where the connection is and what I'm talking about? So if Mase ain't had nothing to say about Puff in his situation, he kept it real light and then got out of there. Jay Prince don't owe you nothing about Drake and Kendrick. He don't owe you to say nothing. That's just keeping it fair. That's keeping it a buck. You don't owe him nothing.
He said it. I just don't even figure out what the fuck. I don't know what the slang mean. I don't know what the face in the bet. I take the bet. I like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, right?
Yes, I know she got more.
Yeah, I mean, when you think, because I just was with Kanye a while ago, and we called Jay Prince on FaceTime. So he was like, y'all getting together good. So I don't even know why he would come at me with that energy. You know what I'm saying? I felt really disrespected by him doing it. Right. And certain people you're supposed to come at like that, and I'm not one of them.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions since we're here. I'm gonna get on my broadcast shit. So Murder. How do you feel him coming at yourself and Cameron and didn't say anything to Kendrick Lamar about the Drake situation? Because anytime Drake has a problem, it seems like he runs and tell niggas, yo, Puff. Yo, niggas, Drake, niggas. How do you feel? I mean, I want you to answer, but how do you feel about him calling you and your partner out and didn't say anything about that?
Now, I just answered that ahead of the question because I've already seen it and know what was going on with it. So that's why I didn't really engage. But right, people just got a mixed, warped opinion of Jay Prince and look at him like he's some type of just street goon. This is a man that worked in a bank, started his own businesses, car wash, car dealerships, record companies. And before anybody ever knew anything about anything, Jay Prince started his own business and went from there. So I don't understand what other people are talking about, actually. Jay Prince built his company. Built corporations. The man owns his own island. So to say he's a street thug, yeah, he come from the streets, but his mentality is not a street guy. His mentality is a businessman. There's nobody more savage than a businessman. They do more cutthroat deals than anything you've seen in the streets. They'll leave somebody penniless, take their pension, everything they work for, leave them in the gutter. Y'all don't even understand anything about this whole game and what he did to fight to get music to the level it is now, where it's in Houston. Anyway, there wouldn't be no Pimp C's. It wouldn't be none of these dudes making the money that they was making. Bun B, all these guys, they wouldn't have been at the Swisher House and all them. They wouldn't have been making that money if Jay Prince didn't pave the way. Somebody had to pave that way to bring those people ears on over to a place in Houston where the music didn't really generate from. They was like, man, we got to pay attention to them. They for real out here. And then all these other artists that came up in the mainstream start paying attention to them. Jay Prince created that avenue. He created that lane. So he always had that respect. And definitely in Chicago, he's immortalized. So I don't understand for the life of me why he even responded on social media. Like, that's not really his bag anyway. Jay normally stays quiet. So that's why I'm like, to put that on social media to back up Shakur, that wasn't even necessary to put your stamp on this. It just wasn't necessary.
You said something really profound. He said something to Puff, right? Mm-hmm. He said nothing to Kendrick.
Right.
He said something, and I know you're going to elaborate about this later. He said something to the dudes in New York, and that didn't really go over well.
As far as what?
Whatever kid that was that got the chain taken.
Right.
And then you're going to talk about all this. I'm going to let you talk about it more in detail, but he didn't say nothing to Wack. Like, it's like, so when you come talking to me, I feel like you're very selective. This is exactly what I meant last week when I was talking about street niggas being selective. Mm-hmm. They got selections of who they think they're going to get tough with. So I feel there's a must for me to say something, because you can't be selective with us, because we're not the weakest on the chart.
Shit I ever heard.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 27 years. It was wild. It's so disrespectful. I'm not going to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
But he squashed it. After, like, for Wack would have said that, I mean, and I'm broadcast cam right now. I don't know if it couldn't have been subtle, but I can't be cool with you after you just said what you said.
Yeah.
Like, it was really bad.
Matter of fact, this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to interview. Now, Killer, tell me how you would really say it.
All our shit be going viral real quick, just so before I even get to the J Prince shit. All our shit go viral, so niggas never see how this started. They only see how it be getting finished. So for the people that's catching up on this who have no idea how this started, we gave our opinion of the fight. We said the shit was boring. All of us said it was boring. There's 100 niggas saying it's boring. But because our shit go viral, niggas think that they can keep talking to us. Shakur Stevenson told us to get the strap or strap up, or better yet, put the gloves on so he could fight us. We said what he said, and then he started going crazy. Everything was over with. Me personally, I'm sick of it before I even address the J Prince thing. I'm sick of it. I left it alone. We are not talking about a nigga this much. Before his fights or after his fights, and none of his fights. However many fights he had in his career, this is the most traction the nigga ever got. My nigga, I had a meeting on Friday. This is no cap. With some of my Jewish partners. Shout out to Shapiro's. I won't give you first name. Shout out to my partners. Before the meeting started, they asked me, Murder, why are you arguing with Tupac's son, Cam? I said, what are you talking about? He said, no, we see it in the media. You're arguing with ain't that Tupac? So I said, that's not, no, his first name is Shakur, not like. He said, what does he do? I said, no, never mind. They didn't even know. They never heard of the nigga.
Yeah.
But because we keep talking about the nigga.
We don't keep talking about it.
Exactly. I don't know what it is. Our clips go viral all week. So don't stop it. Once we say it, it's viral all week. Oh, okay. So word to everything I love. I swear to God, after I got that meeting, I said to myself, I'm leaving this shit alone, bro, because nigga.
Cam is like, I'm leaving this alone. He's leaving this alone because it's going on for so long and nothing's going to come of it. But it's good marketing for Shakur because now they really promoting his name. They really pushing his name out there. So now he's like, he's getting free marketing from us.
Niggas don't even know this nigga. You don't know him, I don't mind, keep going.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this don't make no sense. So what happened is Saturday night, I guess they interviewed him, and he was like, hey, is everything cool with you and Mace, with Mace and Cam and all that, Fuck them bitch ass niggas. Them niggas are still bitch ass niggas, ain't nothing changed. This is what he said Saturday night. This is a week after the fight. So the niggas who run my social media page, our social media page, they got the same humor that we got.
Yeah.
They start putting up pictures of him when he's crying Olympics, whatever. The next day is when Jay Prince just said what she wrote. Hey, yo, my man, listen, James, let me explain something to you, bro. Mace said it exactly like, you 60, nigga. You 60. What are you talking about? What are you, bro? I lost mad respect for you because I used to have mad respect for you. When you had Shakur with you, when you line Young Boy NBA up, why the fuck you got Shakur with you? And this is why he acting like that. This is exactly why.
That's another move I didn't approve of. That was a move I didn't approve of. Why do you have Shakur Stevenson out there with stolen items from NBA Youngboy's car, saying, call us and we'll get you your stuff back? You know, like we got it for you. You know, we looking out for you. Here you go. Like, that was not cool. I spoke on that when it happened. I did a video on it. I did not understand why Jay Prince would do something like that. That's un-Jay Prince like. My Uncle Jay wouldn't do a thing like that. So I thought it was a promo thing. Like, it wasn't real. Like, they was just doing a promo because Uncle Jay wouldn't normally do a thing like that. He's quiet. That's what I'm saying. He is quiet. So to see him on a video with Shakur Stevenson with somebody stolen items talking about, hey, we got it back for you. Make a call and you can come get it. It's like, what is he doing? So, I mean, that's just didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I get what Cam is saying. That did not make sense.
Why you acting like that? Talking about you got Young Boy NBA umbrellas in his keys to car. Young Boy NBA told y'all niggas eat a dick. This is what he said. This is what Young Boy NBA said. Wack 100 was the most disrespect. Wild disrespect. I ain't even gonna repeat this shit Wack 100 said. Mad disrespect. Drake is beefing with Kendrick Lamar as we speak. I have not heard this. The first time Drake got into some shit, and I hear you say shit to Kendrick Lamar now. Why do you think that you can tell us what we can and cannot say, my nigga? Control your nigga. Control that nigga. Ain't nobody gonna tell a nigga, get the strap, and then we gonna sit there and be like, hey, I think we should shut up. Nah, nigga. This is not 1982, bro. You cannot sit here and tell niggas get the strap and then niggas be quiet. Nobody know that part because I should just be going viral. You bugging, James, you bugging, my nigga. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know what bet you talking about, all that other slang then. Bet it. Whatever bet you talk about, bet it. I don't know what bet it. Bet it. You wanna bet it? I don't know what to bet it.
Oh man, top of the top, man.
Well, see, I don't like it because this is what I'm talking about. This is why I don't like it, because Cam and them will just flame you all day because they in a position of you can't do anything to them. Right now, they're in a bad light because of what happened with Tate. Even though that got nothing to do with them, none of them had anything to do with that. You know, that was no hit from James Prim, wasn't no setup, nothing. Take wasn't no victim of them trying to take him out. Takeoff was the most nicest human being anybody could ever have met in their life. Dude was literally just the coolest dude on earth. Nobody was trying to hurt any of them. This one guy decided in his own wisdom to pull out and get ignorant. And somebody from Offset camp did the same stupidity. So this is what happened when other people like Quavo can't control his liquor, all high, making threats, and out of town, just talking reckless. And they should have never got to that. That was that. And now they made it look like Jay Prince did something that he didn't do. They love that dude, man. They had no ill will towards him whatsoever.
I saw them join.
Yeah, well, when you see people, they act a certain way. Oh, well, you know, it's gonna go in the direction people gonna see it go. But it doesn't need to go there. Because the bigger picture is this. Once you stop moving in a salamander type of way, other people know. Right. If you move like a salamander, people are gonna know. Now, the fight wasn't boring, but to casuals like Mace and Cam, they would say the fight's boring. Why? Because the fight, there was no knockouts. Why is Jay Prince my uncle? We go back since the Ghetto Boys. You know, I'm from Chicago. This is like second home to Jay Prince. Why do you think Kanye West is connected with Uncle Jay? Yeah. Oh, exactly, dog. So that's just how y'all look at it. No, it's my mother's birthday today. So, a lot of people are hitting me up telling me happy birthday and saying happy birthday to my mom. My mom, they ain't gonna be able to get in contact with my mom. She has way too many friends. Now, I'll tell my mom Happy New Year's. Thank you. No, we just move differently because the nature of this is not about, it's not about like, now I'm gonna tell you this. If it was a situation where it got really disrespectful, really personal, and if it was something really serious, they would play outside of the ring, and that's not gonna go well for people. You know what I mean? That's not gonna go. That's not something they're gonna want to see. I don't think nobody in the world is gonna want to see that. And in case you don't think, like, Cam and Mace, love them to death. Nah, I ain't saying they punks or nothing like that, but this would go somewhere they're not wanting it to go. Like if it was to go there was nothing they gonna be able to do about it. Believe me, ain't nothing they would be able to do about it. They would rather get on the phone and get it. If this was ever to get to a situation that it had to come to something like that, they wouldn't be able to sustain with Mr. Prince. Let me tell you that right now. But because this isn't that, it could be at this level. You know what I'm saying? Because this isn't that, it could be at this level. Well, you don't throw gas on the fire. You know what I'm saying? So when you see this not adding up and making sense, uh, none of it is. That's why I keep trying to get you to understand. None of this stuff is gonna make any sense. It's senseless. Like Takeoff died senselessly. He ain't told me nothing about he ain't told me nothing about Drake. What would he tell me about Drake? He ain't talked to me about Drake. Mm-mm. That's y'all interpretations of it. Now, like he said, Drake is still family. You see how he had Kanye, he had Drake out there. The man with enough power to bring those two together in the middle of they beefing shows you that's a man that could pull things together and make things happen. But it don't have to be in a violent way. Everything don't have to be violence. That's what everybody, the young folks, is entertained by violence. Ain't nobody worried about Wack. That's why I keep telling you, Jay Prince ain't worried about him. He not worried about these guys. They not on his level. Ain't none of these dudes gonna crash with Uncle Jay. And I'm gonna tell you this why. Uncle Jay, and the reason why they talk so reckless now, because they know these dudes are rats. Most of these dudes are rats and snakes and snitches. Uncle Jay, they know the feds is on them. You think Wack 100 gonna crash with this dude? Hell no. Wack gonna stay in his hole and continuously stay in his hole. Don't even play with that name with Uncle Jay, man. Don't even play with those words. Because y'all think of it as it's entertainment. This is fun. This is a game. It ain't a game if somebody get hurt. It ain't a game if somebody else get punched in the back of the head or knocked out or don't make it home. And then bad news is reaching your family. That ain't fun. That ain't fun for nobody. Nobody want bad news to reach the door before you do. But you don't want bad news to beat you home. Shoot, them 80s lines that save your life. It's all about respect. Yeah, y'all be like, you corny and all this. Okay. Okay, we could be corny. But what we saying is on point. Well, when you make up your mind and you have a decision to make, or you have this and speaking of that, we have a special guest. Uncle Bob. Can you hear me, Uncle Bob? Hello? 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 Oh, well, he'll call me back. Now, he probably butt dialed me. Okay, there you go. I can hear you now. Yeah, yeah. So we were talking about the Shakir Stevenson situation, and the thing is that we looked at the numbers, and Cam and Mase, so they went on this whole rampage about how the fight was boring and nobody wanted to see the fight, and that it didn't do well, even though we showed the numbers, or James Prince showed the numbers when Keith Idec put the numbers out, that it was the largest numbers from the Nielsen rating from 1.1, and it peaked at 1.2 million for an average audience in the network. So I think this is casual people watching the fight and they don't understand boxing. And
I thought, unlike the fight before this, where Shakur really underperformed because he was had medical issues, drink. I thought he fought a hell of a fight in Newark in the last fight. He was fighting a tough guy, and he didn't run.
Nope.
He hit him. So I don't know what people are talking about. I really don't.
And that's exactly the point I was making. He stood right in front of Arum, and Arum.
No argument. Of course. Yeah, I thought it was a very good performance. The one thing that these people don't understand is if they're looking for a knockout in every Shakur fight, they're not going to get it.
Exactly.
Shakur isn't a knockout guy, but he punches a lot, and he's a tremendous fighter as far as maneuvering. And I thought it was a very good performance.
Yep, and this is why I try to tell people. I said Floyd Mayweather didn't knock out almost anybody in his last few fights or whatever. He wasn't knocking everybody out.
Well, again, each fighter is different. Each fighter is individual, and I thought this was a really good Shakur performance.
Yes, I thought so too. He looked good. He was slick, and he was able to stay in front of his opponent and hit and not get hit. His defense, his angles, and he wasn't running around the ring. He was staying in front of Arum, making Arum fight him.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. So what's next for Shakur that you think?
Well, he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm tight with Jay Prince and the rest of the group around Shakur. And after he tests free agency, if he wants to come to Top Rank, we'd be delighted to re-sign him. I like the kid a lot.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys lock him up in a big deal.
But again, he's a free agent now. It's like no different from a football player.
Yeah.
Guy finishes contract, free agent, he tests the market. That's what Shakur is doing. Hopefully, after he tests the market, come back to us, and we'll put a deal on the table that's satisfactory to him.
All right. Well, thank you for clearing this up for us.
Yeah.
And so we can explain this to some of the people who are confused
please,
some of these casuals that don't understand boxing.
I'm as big a Shakur fan as any person you've ever met.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for the time, Uncle Bob.
Okay, good.
All right. Now, that's the president and CEO of Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arum, who's the promoter of Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson is now a free agent. That was his last fight, and they're hoping to re-sign him again. So you heard him as clear as day, right then and there, just give you that whole laydown. Now, you guys heard that free right here on this channel. So if you don't think I'm connected in the boxing world, you must be a fool. I don't know how many times must I prove this over and over again. So as he said the same thing I said before he got on the phone. No, I said it was good because it was a good fight. It actually was. How many of y'all even watched the fight? That's what I'm saying. Most people are reacting to what Cam and Mase said, hadn't even seen the goddamn fight. And most of y'all don't even watch or understand boxing. His fight before this, like he said, that was a bad fight by Shakur standards and everything else, but he had medical problems. He was not healthy at all. Shouldn't have taken the fight, but he did it anyway. In this fight, he definitely took care of business. He looked really good. So he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. But that's what I'm saying. Most people wanted to see knockouts. The same thing I said. They look at Tank Davis, they look at all these people, and they see knockout. Floyd didn't knock everybody out. When he was at 135, he was getting a lot of knockouts. But when he went up and weight and fought all these big guys, he wasn't knocking them out. But people was paying money to see it. I'm a James Prince guy. Of course, I'm an Uncle Jay Prince guy. That's Uncle Jay. Of course, I'm a Jay Prince guy. All the way. But do I agree with what he said with Cam them? No. I don't feel he should have engaged in conversation with them at all. Not one bit should he have been in that conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Situation's not going anywhere. You know, they know right now that because of the Takeoff situation, it's brought a lot of attention from special interest groups that'll be looking into J Prince, looking into their business, looking into a whole bunch of things that they shouldn't. They shouldn't even be involved in any of it. It don't make sense. A lot of the stuff that's going on and transpiring don't make any sense. I've always been plugged in the boxing world, so yeah. Dude, I know damn near everybody, so it doesn't even make sense for me not to know. I'm gonna sit here and lie to you about a boxing fight. Me? It's never gonna happen. We have a lot of people that's like family related or friendship in passing. We got boxing radio shows. We got everything, dude. We've interviewed some of the best in this sport. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson is that dude. He really can box. Like for most people just don't realize that he can box. That's that dude can get down. No, Uncle Jay should have not. He should have never responded to Cameron and Mace's comments. But Shakur Stevenson is now a free agent, so he could do and handle his own business now. That's Uncle Jay. No, because Shakur should have never responded to them. He should have never responded to them. But you know what? In hindsight, if you look at the other side of it, they got free marketing and promotion out of it. Let's say they all dumping on Shakur Stevenson and all that, and he going back and forth with them. All of this, Mace and Cam keep talking about it. It's blown up now. Now, all you guys who didn't even know who Shakur Stevenson is talking about him. So I guess if you look on the other side of the coin, you just got some free marketing out of it. Yeah, publicity is publicity. You know, whether it's negative or positive. Publicity is publicity. As long as your name is coming out of people's mouths, That's why Cam said, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm not going to talk about it no more. Like, I'm done with this. Like, he's like, I get what's going on. I'm going to just stop because this is it. After today, I'm done. Like, he don't want to talk about this no more. Because Cam and Mase don't need that subject to eat. They got plenty of stuff they could be talking about. So they actually are getting free marketing. You got to remember, Uncle Jay is smart. That's no dummy right there. That's why I told you, the man used to work at a bank. And became his own independent business owner. Had the car wash, had the car dealership. So he learned how to be a boss and run a business, being his own man. You see, this is why I try to tell people and get people to understand is learn about the values of the things that people like this do. Jay Prince ain't been locked up and in jail and all this. He been investigated by the feds. Everything. So you think he's trying to do anything for the feds? They looking for any little thing to try to take him down. The man is a legitimate business owner. He owns an island. He just wants to relax, stay in a peaceful setting, and handle and conduct business. You just heard Bob Arum, the president of Top Rank Enterprises. How much do you think Bob Arum is worth? That man is worth about $500-600 million. And you just heard me call him up on the phone like nothing. And why do you think that is? It's not because of his net worth or what he's worth. It's because we both have respect in this game for the boxing. He knows I know what I'm talking about. Shakir tries to be tough. Well, that's Shakir's problem. The trying to be tough thing, he don't need to be. Like this, like he grown up a lot, he said, from the incident he had out there when he hit the guy and stuff at the mall. Like that was some real corny-ish that he did, that I wasn't approving of. Nobody I knew was approved of that. So, it is what it is with that. Well, everyone's gonna say that until they something comes along and change their mind. But I got more videos to create. Don't forget to go to the Patreon. We got some exclusive stuff that's coming up that y'all didn't know nothing about, really, and it's gonna really blow up. It's on the Patreon now. It's a 3-minute video. I put it there for all the tiers so y'all can know. I'm waiting to get more information. Once I get more information, then I can really dig in deep. So I just gave y'all what I heard so far today. It's about LeBron in conflict with somebody, and oh yeah, it's going down. Oh yeah. So shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Thanks for everybody who hit the like button and donated to my Cash App, which is Karceno. I want to say thanks to Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez. All of y'all who came up in here, liked the page, subscribed. If you're new, hopefully you like what you heard. And then we might get to interview some people that y'all like and know. Get them on the phone. We can have that discussion. Mace changed his number. I did have Mace's number, though. But Mace has changed his number. Mm-hmm. Make sure y'all like the videos and stuff, because that stuff matters when you like the videos. Mm-hmm. I know, right? I told y'all 6 years ago that if Mace didn't leave the game, he would have been Drake. He was Drake. And Mace and Drake are really cool. Remember, I told y'all that. Power said, tap in with me. It's always a bag. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a shame what happened to these fighters like Mildred, man. That broke my heart to see him like that. Oh, yeah. Always love and respect for those. You know, that's real. You always want those people that support you, that come by and hit the like button, that subscribe to your page, hit that that notification bell so they can get notified when we go live. You love to hear that. But since everybody else dropped off and, you know, some of the casuals left before the video ended, I'm going to give y'all this. That
Y'all
blew
wanted
my
Mace.
mind.
You got
To
Mace.
see him sit there and say that stuff, I'm like,
Yeah, man, I had to go everywhere to get people to believe. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got hot, everybody started jumping on a bandwagon.
yeah. And I said that, and I was like, man, he has probably one of the best deals. And I'm like, man, Mace should sign me. I was like, I wish I could get my man. I'm like, a new artist getting a master's? I'm like, do you know how hard that is in life to get?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's artists
And
right
I
now.
held it. So if he did something like this,
Yeah.
that's why I had to set the deal up that way, though. Because you don't know what, you know how gang niggas are, man.
Right. But that's why you did that. The managerial fee and everything else. That's why you had the contract set like that, so everybody could be fair. You know, like we could, all right,
Yeah,
let's.
but if I didn't have it, it was going.
Right, they railroad you. You know, you got to protect yourself. So it was.
They sent the OG niggas and the niggas fresh from jail 20 years to me and all that. I said, nigga, I ain't going for that, nigga.
Right. And you just got to do what's right. I'm like, man, when somebody do right by you, it's like, how do you wrong somebody that did right by you? You know what I'm saying? Like, they know you came up with
But
it.
his team telling him.
Right. That's what I said. The whole interview sounded like they pushed him to do it. You know, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is organized. Yeah, they did this to deliberately, yeah, so to make it look like, oh yeah, Mace.
But once I show the receipts, all the young niggas gonna be coming.
I know, because who wouldn't want that? I'm like, dog, he had all his publishing 100%. He was never signed to a 360 deal. He kept all his show money. Nobody took his show money. I'm like, who in the world wouldn't sign a deal like that? That's crazy. I'm telling people that. I'm like, they was like, man, you lying. There ain't no way, man. Oh, Mace had to get, how he gonna get paid? I'm like, dog, they split 50-50. I'm like, he's like, look, we'll do it 50-50. I'm like, dog, do y'all realize? I'm like, he took them to the record companies they weren't interested in first. But I'm like, if you don't make show dates, it ain't his fault they manager was a crook. I was like, look, y'all manager took y'all money and left. And I'm like, y'all want another 20? I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, that's your situation with him. He got paid. And he took the money and didn't give it to you. That's y'all manager. Y'all brought him to the table. And I'm like, this man, I'm like, look, I already know you came up with, hey. You know, so, you know, not taking nothing away from them, but they know what you brought to the table. Right.
The sauce.
Right. Plus, you being involved in the project was going to increase the revenue probably double, triple to make the deal even bigger than what it was just because you was involved.
I told him, you had everybody, you just didn't have me.
Yeah.
That showed you my presence mattered.
Right. And then, you know, like D-Sav and JD and the rest of them, you know, when they was gonna be the demons in the group, and then they was against it. You know, like I'm like, they were against the name Demons. And they was gonna name the album, like you said, Demon Time. And they was all, no, we can't have that. And now everywhere you go, city to city, state, everybody talking about Demon Time.
And guess who owned it? Guess who owned the name?
Who?
Puff's son Justin.
Wow. And it's a dirty game, boy. But man, yeah, I mean, I've been getting a lot of slack from him because you know I hit him up personally in his live stream, and you know when he was IG live, and I was saying, like, why do you keep doing the artists what you complain that you fighting for artists? Why won't you give them their masters or even present it to the position where they can buy it back? Why would you want them to, have to go get it from somebody else that ain't even from this country or not even connected to the music? Why would you want to do that? And you sitting here in the same breath saying you want to fight for artists' rights. It's just, I'm like, that's hypocrisy. And, ever since then, man, that dude been, I'm like, your name's supposed to be Love. You don't show no love.
Yeah, I'm about to go back. I'm about to double back on him.
Yeah, because I don't think it's right. I'm like, you keep sitting over here doing all these deals and he's making these moves behind the scenes, and you say one thing and you doing another. Once again, you did the same thing over again, but you end up doing what was right, what you should have did with Jada years ago. You finally did right by them.
What he just, when I said that statement, he made his mind to give everybody their stuff back, but he's only giving it up to them so he could come back and use them for a tour. Launch Love Records.
Exactly. That's what it's always a connection piece with him. You know him.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always about him. But my thing is, like, I feel like he should be like, man, I owe you, because without you, the ship don't move. When Big was gone that quick, that was sudden. That was an immediate impact. Big was gone. You kept the lights on. Your pen kept it moving. And I'm like, dog.
Yeah, that's what makes them other niggas stronger than him.
Yeah.
Because their artists are better off.
Yeah. And I was like, man.
You don't let Kanye catch you.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, this is crazy, because most of these people, like the fans out here today, they don't even know. Like, most of the songs they've been bobbing their head to for the past 5, 6, 7 years, you done had an influence behind a lot of those records. But
yo, what you doing in Saginaw?
Oh, Saginaw, that's where my cousin Dante, he set up the Saginaw STEM. The Saginaw STEM program, man. So they helping kids.
What's that?
Oh, the STEM program, they set up for kindergarten to 8, man. They teaching these kids science, math, everything. Like every Saturday, like once a year, all the kids are free. They get to come in to learn science. They just.
How can I help with that?
You can go to saginawstem.org and you can just donate anything that you want. It's all 100% donation goes straight to the event. It don't go to any of the staff or anything. Everybody's volunteering and putting in the work, and it's been doing great, man. We just got a $20,000 grant by General Motors. They just started a First Things First school program, and it's teaching these kids all the skills, like from engineering, science. And this is for kids in our community, because this stuff is missing in our schools now. So we've been definitely promoting the Saginaw STEM and been doing great, man. In 1 year, it's been just rolling.
You gotta go to this guy who's a pastor. His name is Tariq Price.
You say a pastor?
Yeah, out there in Saginaw. His name is Tariq Price.
Tariq Price? Oh, okay.
When you see him, tell him Mace said donate.
Okay. All right.
So Mace said, you speaking to Mace, and Mace said, yeah, my brother stay out there in Saginaw, and he needs to be a part of that.
Yeah, he can definitely get in part of it, because it's going down every Saturday. Yeah, we got our
really well.
Yeah, we got volunteers coming in, man. It's beautiful, man, to see these kids. Like right now, man, I didn't know these kids are so smart, and it just shows you, man. All these kids want to learn. You know, I'm like, they don't want to hear all this garbage. They really want to get active and into it, man. So we got kindergarten through 12th grade, and they all are involved. You know, they ain't in there looking at their phones and nothing. They all into it. And I'm like, man, it's incredible to see. Yeah. And man, like right now they taking a go-kart, transforming it from a fuel car to an electric car. And they doing it on go-karts right now. And they yeah. And then now since they doing that, he said after that I'm gonna have them turn it from a electric car into a solar car. I'm gonna teach them.
Do you be going on Clubhouse and all that stuff?
No, I don't be on that. I listen to Wack, like Wack.
Going crazy, Wack.
Yeah, Wack is crazy. I talked to him on the phone the other day. I'm like, Wack, man, what is you doing? Like, half of the stuff you be talking about be mad crazy.
Scared to death of Wack.
I don't know why. I'll talk to Wack, man. Wack, because Wack is not a threat, really. He's really cool, but he's not gonna get crazy. Not now. He got way.
His wolf game is immaculate.
Yes, I know. That's the thing. He's always been like that. And I was like, he didn't realize I knew him from many years ago when he first came around Ray J. And I was like, I knew you since then because I was with Floyd and Jackie Long and Ray J and Floyd was over there. So he was like, oh man, now we know each other from back then. I'm like, yeah. But I was like, I never had a reason to really get in contact with you until now. So me and him started talking about all the stuff he doing. And I was like, I don't really vibe with academics. And I was like, and I don't vibe with him because he's what's wrong with what's going on here. He promotes violence and death and nonsense. And I don't like that. And I can't, and I was like, I don't want to get compared to him. I'm like, we not the same. I'm like, we come from two different worlds. And I was like, he's just all about nonsense. He don't do anything positive.
Yeah, I just walked.
Yeah, see, the public love you.
Yeah, I just walked in this restaurant.